Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I shall see what's going on a very rainy island of New Horizons, of Fawnhallow today, which is fitting because it was rather rainy last night. You can hear it raining on the window. Oh, I had a dream today. What did I dream about? I woke up early and I had a dream about some reason, but I can't remember what it was. I felt like it wasn't a good dream, so maybe it's something I shouldn't even talk about in the first place. But borderline of like a weird things, you know, and like dreams are always twists of reality about sort of thing. I feel like I talk about dreams too often. I actually completely forgot I had a dream until just now, just this moment, I knew because I woke up randomly at like 5 a.m. and not in a cold sweat or something, just being like, whoa, that was weird, sort of thing. But oh, it's random messages. It's important. Hello, everyone. That's right. I can look at that later. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 3:39 p.m. on Tuesday, July 6, 2021. Today's also Miria's birthday. How wonderful. Happy birthday! And with that, I'll get back to work supporting you and your enjoyment of your island. Happy birthday, Mira. Of course, as per usual, we'll be heading over to her place and giving her an exotic fruit, and she'll be like, ooh, what's this? I've never had an orange before, despite the fact there's tons of them growing outside of Vivian's orchard. I will say the frame rate is kind of laggy right now with this heavy rain going on, but that's just something you ought to bear with Animal Crossing sort of business. Something for you, dear. Surprise, it's a rug. I read a short story about a flying carpet recently and bought this in a moment of literary impulse. My biggest vice. Never I can't fly, but it can be the backbone of great home decor. I do wish it could fly, Lily. She's definitely sent us that before, I recognise it. Yeah. What have I been up to today? I played some Binding of Isaac today. Did the daily challenge because I need to win 5 daily challenges in a row. I'm on 2 out of 5 right now. I was going to do it yesterday, and I saw yesterday it was for the Lost, and I went, nope, and I didn't do it. If you don't know, the Lost is like, it's not the hardest character anymore, but it used to be one of the hardest characters, or it used to be the hardest character in the game, where if you get hit, you die. But no longer. They're probably not the weakest character in the game anymore. That title probably goes to either Tainted Lost, Jacob, or Lazarus. Probably Lazarus, but but yeah, I played some Binding of Isaac, did a daily run, played some Lost, and I beat Mega Satan now, so I'm very close to completing that post-it note. I just got True Ending, Alternate, Alt Path, and something else left. Delirium. Because unfortunately the portal did not spawn. Fortunately those all had to be done probably on separate runs, but that just do be how it goes. But yeah, what was I thinking? That was a fun time. What was that dream? I've had some wild dreams recently. I had one I'm not really going to go into because it was kind of a weird situation, to be honest, in the first place. So, I don't know how else to say it except for it was extraordinarily strange and involved a bomb almost exploding, but I tossed it into like a basement area and I hid and I was calling 999. It was surprisingly stressful. It's one of the ones where you wake up and you're like, oh my god. I mean, you think about it and you're like, oh, wait, never mind. Just a dream. Which is honestly a good refreshing thing to have not awaken for yourself, you know, and just to be like, oh my god, what's happening? A scary situation, get your blood a-pumping. And then you wake up and be like, oh, you know, it was all in my head. It's like an old, I hate how squishy the path sounds. I hate, no, not what I hate. What missions do we have? I didn't even pay attention. I didn't even open them. That's why I didn't pay attention. Let's see. We have fossils, bugs, fish, creatures, seashells. Basically everything to sell. Yeah, that was a bit of a strange situation. I don't know. You know how in dreams your movement's always like super sluggish and that sort of thing? I didn't really have a follow-up sentence on that. Just I guess you know that. In that dream, it was the weirdest thing. Like, for the first time ever, I think in a dream, I actually managed to move like supremely smoothly, like as if it was real life. You might say, "Hey, what caused it?" It was because I was kneeing a potential attacker in the face. Which you might ask how I managed to get that sort of like vertical velocity upwards to like kangaroo kick them, or kangaroo knee them, I suppose, in the face. I don't know. Dreams don't really have that sense of realism attached to it, so your reality is often quite different. Yeah, what a strange dream. What was this? It's gonna annoy me. I'm gonna remember it like tomorrow or something. Be like, oh, that was a dream. But it was like I remember it's one of the dreams I had where it was a story, and then I woke up and then I went back to sleep to try and continue the story because I was like, I can't remember why. I think I was because it was like, oh, it seems like the people in the dream are in a dangerous position. I'm gonna go back, sleep with a knowledge now that it's a dream and a plan. I'll go in and save them or something, but I don't remember what it was. That's all I remember. Oh well, you know, dreams are a dime a dozen. They're always very nonsensical, so you don't really need to commit them all that much to memory. But yeah, should we talk about something else? Not that dreams aren't interesting. Well, it's one of those things that the conversations that you shouldn't talk about is because dreams are very, very boring for anyone who wasn't in the dream. Unless I guess you're a very, very charismatic sort of storyteller, which I feel like I'm not. I don't have that charisma oozing out of me. I like to put on voices, I suppose, for characters, but that's about it. I miss doing that sort of thing. It was kind of fun. It was really fun doing with Bug Fables. Like juggling all these voices. Mind you, they all sounded rather similar because I'm not a professional voice person. Like voice-over person or voice actor, voice actress. Any of those words do not really quantify my skill set. You might say, hey, would you like to? Yeah, I think could be pretty fun. What am I doing? I'm trying to put them next to each other, but for some reason I seem incapable of doing such. Yeah, it would seem pretty fun, I think. Not gonna lie, it would almost certainly be hard work as well. I'm not gonna discredit the effort that they put into it, but still. I would give it a shot. I would give most things a shot. The infamous words of Shakira in the Disney movie Zootopia. Try everything. Oh, have I talked about Sing? You know, that like X Factor animated animal movie, which I haven't seen, but I think Ali told me to watch. So he was like, you'll probably like it. It's got animals in it. And I was like, that's not really the criteria I want to watch a movie. He's like, but it's got singing in it. And I was like, again, I do like those sort of things, so you would have thought combined I would really like it, but is that a soul stag? No, that's not a soul stag, that's a Miami stag, isn't it? Well, it's gone now, so who cares? But again, even if they are combined, it may not necessarily be something which is quite to my taste. 6, 7, 8, 9, we need one more. I feel like I talked about this recently. It was like Sing 2 was on, it's not on TV, sorry. There was, but, it's Red. Red's other stuff today. There's a trailer for it on YouTube, and it keeps cropping on my homepage. And finally, I guess I gave way into the AdSense targeted advertising, and I clicked on it, and it just led off with a song by Billie Eilish, "Bury a Friend," which I would not expect to actually be in that movie, and it's been stuck in my head for the past couple of days. I don't even know the lyrics to it very well. Because like, Whitey, what do you want from me? Why are you scared of me? Why don't you run from me? What are you wondering? What do you know? Why don't you run from me? With for some reason, some bush baby dressed up in very, I guess, unnerving clown makeup, or spinning around on a set of ring trapeze-like things. What are those hanging rings called? You know, those things in. Oh, nearly just closed all my Google Chrome tabs, which is not ideal. There's like 2 hanging rings, you know, there's the gymnastics sort of thing. Can we open up Wiki? Let's see how many of those I recognise. Of course, off the bat, Paddock's fake, because that's got a lot of liquid coming down. This is fake because it's got a coffee stain. This is fake, it's missing the artichoke bud. This might be real, but I'm pretty sure we have this one already. So, yeah, missing artichoke bud. Coffee stain. I think this one's nearly always been fake every single time it's appeared, which is actually astounding. What are the chances? Yeah, there's a lot of milk, so that's fake, so this is the only potentially real one, and it's fake because it's holding a great ferret. So, Red, you don't get any of my purchases today, just to stick it to you for coming along bringing 4 forgeries, and how dare you think you wouldn't, I wouldn't be able to tell because of my discerning eye. And my love for modern, it's not really modern art, traditional art and painting, I don't know. I didn't really think that sentence through, so don't comment on it, okay? Okay, thanks, bye. Do we still have enough room? We have enough room to fish up 5 things. Let's fish up some 5 things. What was I talking about? I don't think there's anything important. No, I was talking about a piece. Oh yeah, Sing 2. And in classic me fashion, when I was told to go watch Sing, instead of actually going to watch the media property itself, I just looked it up on Wikipedia, the plot summary. Am I the only one who does this? Almost certainly not, is the answer to these sort of things. But it's just like, I can't be bothered to like watch an entire movie or something I don't know if is going to be interesting or if I'm going to like it. So instead of like watching it, I just read up the plot summary on Wikipedia. And you might say, hey, spoilers. We've had a spoiler discussion before. Go look up. It's probably called Spoilers or something. Animal Crossing Day 284. I don't know. That's a guess. Well, basically, spoilers. I think knowing about what happens doesn't ruin the situation. It is a spoiler, but it doesn't ruin the watching experience for me necessarily. Because a lot of the plot points, you only get like overarching plot points rather than the fine nitty-gritty detail, which maybe you do get as well. A lot of the time I'm left wondering, like, how do I get to that situation in the first place? Or I was like, oh man, it's going to be a grand reveal when that comes out. But yeah, a lot of things I just end up reading the plot summary because I can't be able to go watch them. And I have this conversation with Ned because he was like, he hasn't seen the first A Quiet Place, which by the way I haven't either. But he said he just read the plot summary of it because he thought it'd be like too scary or something. So I'm just calling him out in his videos. Okay, he doesn't watch this, he won't know. We need another fossil. Yeah, let's get another fossil. And I feel like that's a pretty valid reason to... Actually, one of the more valid reasons to go and look up a plot summary. If you want to sort of like know what happens in a media property, but for some reason you can't watch it. Like, I don't know, maybe you got a big fear of clowns, whatever that phobia is called. I don't know, it's got a name, so you can't watch it despite the fact it's a really cool movie. The first movie, at least. The second movie is okay. IMO. Not the greatest, but all right. But first movie is really good. Yeah, maybe you got some very big fear of something and it prevents you from watching it, especially something horror or thriller based. Then by all means, it makes sense to read a plot summary. I mean, I guess you can kind of read plot summaries of anything you really want to, especially a thing I have done before. I'm not sure what I've done it with off the top of my head, but I've done it for like anime and manga ones with notoriously long sort of, not run times, but oh my god, fish. I just want to catch you. With lots of chapters and that sort of thing, where I'm just like, I'm not sure I'm committed enough to read like 200 chapters of this manga or whatever that I might not even like. So instead I just read the plot summary of it on Wikipedia for things and I'm like, oh, it's like I got the experience, but I didn't. Or I do a lot where I just watch like the top clips, not top clips, or like funny moments from XYZ, and I'm like, oh, it's like I've watched it, but I haven't. Think of all the time I saved by not watching it. Because you miss out on a lot of good details, but sometimes you can make some snap judgments on that sort of thing after you watch it for a while. You're just like, hey, I actually really like the look of this. Let's go watch it for realsies this time, and other things like that. But yeah, plot summaries is a very useful way to go about things. Like, I read them for the Saw movies, and not necessarily, I'd say, because I find Saw all that scary. Well, maybe I do in certain... Oh, I mean, it's meant to be scary. It's more like grotesque, I suppose, if anything. That's kind of what it's going for. But it's just like, I don't know. I guess it's a bit of, what's the word? Morbid curiosity, being like, oh, I wonder what, like, weird, crazy traps they actually came up with for this Saw movie. for the Jigsaw to inflict upon their victims. And it's... I'm not going to say it's amusing to read, but it's some... I guess it is a morbid curiosity. In the same way that people watch like true crime and that sort of thing is obviously from a viewpoint of being that's obviously horrible, a horrible thing to happen to anyone, and I suppose it's even worse if true crime because it's actually real. But it's sort of just being like, wow, the people who wrote this came up with some really messed up stuff. But I also don't want to watch. Like, the first movie is apparently pretty good, and the rest of them are kind of like mediocre-ish or whatever, meant to be building up a cinematic universe, which is interesting to me because I feel like Saw doesn't really need as much of a cinematic universe in the first place. I feel like the mystery of the unknown is really what gives it sort of a tantalising taste into horror and thriller. But yeah, again, I haven't seen it, so really I don't feel like I'm really in much of a space to comment from, because it's not really something I'm particularly well versed in. But I've read some of them. And there's an interesting one. I can't tell you which movie it is, but there's one where it starts off with 6 of them, and then eventually, like, they go through all these trials, and one of them basically gets eliminated every single time, and then they realise at the end spoilers for whatever Saw movie this is, that if they had all just cooperated rather than being like antagonistic and competitive with each other, they could have easily escaped. Like one of them, like the first task they needed was, let's not sell those oranges. Let's not sell these. They needed to free themselves from some chains effectively within a time limit, otherwise they would die. And but the thing is, anytime one of them walked forwards, it was like that old like carnival bungee game or whatever, where you're all tied to like the same length of rope or something. So if you walk forward, it pulls everyone else backwards. So they all like violently fought to push out ahead, all 6 of them. And then unfortunately one of the girls died because she didn't fight like hard enough. And then they realised, oh, afterwards, it was actually the same key all along. They could have just passed the key to each other and they all would have got out perfectly fine. And there was another one. What was the other one? It was 5 of them. Or maybe it started with 5 of them. They went down to 4. And the next one, there was like 3 containers. If they weren't in the shelter in the nick of time or whatever, then they would die as well. And then they just like fought each other to force someone else to stand outside. What was I gonna? I was gonna buy wrapping paper. Force someone to stand outside. I guess we'll just buy 5 since we've got quite a lot of them. And a sapling, please. Yeah, it was like 4 of them and only 3 shelters, and they basically knocked some guy out to stay outside, and he died. But then they realised afterwards there was plenty of room for at least like 2 people to be in every single container. It must have started with 6 then, or something like that. So they didn't have to sacrifice anyone. But there was another one where it was just like let me think. They had to like complete an electric circuit or something, and what they did was they like ended up like murdering this one lady or something, and then connected all like 5 wires to her and put her in the bathtub. And then we realised, oh, if they had all 5 of them, they could all have grabbed one end and then all put their hand in and then each suffered a mild shock rather than a lethal one. And then the last challenge, there was just like 2 of them left, and it was just like, oh, you had to donate like 10 litres of blood or something. Wait, 10 pints. 10 litres is a bit much now, think about it. 10 pints or something, and then, you know, in theory, if all 5 of them were alive, they could each donate 2 pints, which is like a decent number, mind you, but like not fatal or anything of the slightest, and they'd be fine, and they could just get along in the end, get out completely fine. And then there was only 2 of them, so they had to basically both combined donate a ridiculous amount of blood. But there's probably a lot of plot holes about Saw movie, and I don't think Saw is particularly well known for its, I don't want to say coherent plot, but most like smooth plot. But we'll put hold of a very macabre conversation topic for this. Mira is so radiant today. It's like she's sparkling, and birthdays are the best. And like when Mira is smiling, I get really happy too. I like your outfit, Audie. Did you give Mira your present already? Oh, the sweetest presents are the ones you put a lot of thought into. I didn't really put much thought into this one, but I think the best gifts are bells. Can you actually just give your villagers bells? Never actually tried that. That's an interesting thought. We've nearly got 100,000 Nookmal mission points again. But Mira, happy birthday, we're here to give you some oranges. Getting everyone together like this is so awesome, I could just explode. They even bought gifts. You didn't have to bring me something, did you? Of course. Oh no. Oh wait, it's this one. I was like, I mixed them all up. If only all the villagers would like end up at this birthday party, it would be cool. Well, that's some seriously fancy wrapping. Whatever's inside's gotta be nice. I knew it'd be something good for you. You bought me some oranges. Thanks for thinking of me. You and me, we're going places. Yeah, I'm going out your house. I don't know, that was incredibly mean, I'm sorry. Huh? You leaving already? My party's just getting good. Ah well, thanks for coming out, and thanks a ton for the presents. I feel like these parties could be so much more like interesting. One, if they gave the villagers larger houses. I don't know why villagers get such tiny houses. Oh, the rain's letting up slightly. And then, is there a rainbow? A sorrow after the rain, to quote the Deadly Premonition 2 song. Where did that bug go? I don't know, but we need to catch 4 more bugs. But yeah, so obviously I don't approve of Saw the methods, but I thought that was an interesting sort of like twist. Well, I don't know if it's an interesting twist, I suppose, on a Saw movie, because I haven't seen a Saw movie, I guess. But I thought it was like an interesting spin, in a very diabolical, maniacal way. Where, because Jigsaw has a sort of reputation preceding them, when they were caught in that situation, they were just like, okay, only one of us is going to get out alive, you know, I'm going to make sure it's me. When really it would have been, it's a situation where all of you could have made out alive, but, you know, you just weren't willing to work together. and thus even stop and think. But I will say there's definitely some sort of flaws in the system. I suppose the starting one I can understand the sort of panic and the everyone for themselves sort of attitude, but like you could do it really quickly if you all just took turns. Like one person sprints up, grabs a key, sprints back, and unlocks himself, and then you just do that in order. I guess no one wants to be the fifth person in case you know, the thing closes in on them. But I suppose like I can't believe no one really thought to try the key in someone else's lock to see if it would work. But I guess, you know, that's not really something you think under high pressure. The second one is just dumb from the plot summary. Like you hear the thing, you see the thing being like, oh look, there's only 3 spots and 4 of us, you know. You don't be like, oh, I wonder if we can try to fit multiple people in one thing. You just immediately start like swinging fists, throwing punches, being like, all right, put them up, you know. That's all. It's just weird. The third one, the electric shock one, I don't know, that's also a bit weird, I guess. You would have thought you could do something like move a bathtub in the middle, right? And then, you know, that's one less electric shock you really need to think about, and then the others, you know, just be like, all right, just like, let's just suck it up, I guess. But I don't know. Who is probably crowded? It's probably Amelia. I think she's the only one we haven't seen out and about. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, bug. And the last one, you know, is just kind of like, reap what you sow. Oh, it's not Amelia. Could be Vivian, I think. I'm not sure if Vivian was crafting or not. But I don't think Raymond was in. No, Raymond is not in. It's not Vivian. It's Jakey, I think. We need to catch more bugs. Oh yeah, Vivian's been out and about, I forgot. We saw her earlier. Yeah, so basically the TLDR, reading plot summaries, kind of cool. It's like, well, you know, it's cool and it's not cool, because I suppose especially if it's like a very well executed piece of like cinematography or something, you miss out on a lot of the shots, like, I don't know, reading a plot summary in Pulp Fiction, or I don't know, The Godfather or something. Mind you, I haven't seen any of those movies, so maybe they're not known for cinematography, but I feel like they are. Or like visual effects, like, I don't know, Avatar when it first came out. And not the last Airbender movie, of course. But still. What was I going to say? I forgot. It's a good way to sort of, I suppose, experience quite a large range of... It's not Jakey, it's Rowan? Did I not check Rowan's mouse? A large range of different media without necessarily having to go ahead and watch like tons of them and spend a lot of man hours in them. Source tag, seahorse. Craft and customize, okay. Oh, it is Rowan, weird. Yeah, it's a good way to experience that sort of thing. Especially with like books as well, necessarily. You might not want to read an entire, for example, I know, Skullduggery Pleasant series. Which something I did read when I was younger, but like, especially if you learnt about it now, I'd be like, oh, it was such a popular teenage sort of book series. How can you have not read it? And you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to read the entire thing, so maybe I'll just read a plot summary, sort of get the general gist about it. Like, it happened, it didn't happen exactly, I didn't read a plot summary, but it happened in school where there's this book series called, like, the Cherub series, which I had never even heard of, but apparently it was super popular, and a lot of my classmates had already read it or something. So I was like, maybe I should just go, like, read a plot summaries of it, but nah, I can't be bothered. You know what plot summaries are also good for? It's when you got something on the tip of your tongue that you've seen ages ago. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my chair, which is why I'm moving about weirdly. Something you saw ages ago and you're like, oh man. I like vaguely remember it, but I can't remember it exactly. Like, one of them was this old book was like horror-based book, which I couldn't remember, but I remember the premise to be like, someone took pictures of something and the photos that came out were predictions of the future. Like, this person got like the Polaroid camera, they took a picture of someone, and the photo that came out was like falling, the stairs breaking and falling out underneath them and injuring themselves, but it hadn't happened yet. So they looked at them and they were like, what? And then the stairs fell out under them. And then wooden bookshelf is going to take a while, but these are both a lot. These are both quite annoying ones to make. I guess a wooden block shelf is probably the easiest of the two. Yeah. Did I scroll past it? I must have scrolled past it. I don't even know if we have a wooden block shelf recipe now I think about it. Is this it? Wooden block toy, softwood. There's only 6 softwood, so that's not too bad. Yeah, we'll go do that quickly, then we'll go sell it, and then we'll probably round up this episode. But yeah, now I know it's the Goosebumps book, Say Cheese and Die. I remember other parts of it. I guess good. And it was like, I can't really remember, but when I searched like camera, children's book, take picture, bad things happen or something, and I found it. Just by reading a plot summary, skimming over it, and I was like, yeah, this sounds about right. Sort of a nice thing to jog your memory with. In a certain way, I suppose. You know, never would have done it if plot summaries didn't exist. I mean, to be fair, it's not like people are particularly against plot summaries, I don't think. I'm not sure people are just going to be like, oh, get rid of plot summaries. We hate them. They're the worst thing since sliced bread or unsliced bread, I guess. But they're nice to read, and there's numerous reasons, I suppose, to read them, even if you haven't necessarily consumed a media property in the first place, I think. That's unfavourite that. So yeah, if you find yourself, like, reading a plot summary or something, even a popular, like, media property, which you haven't watched before, who cares, essentially. Not who cares in a, oh, who cares about you. No, who cares in a more way of, like, do what you want, you know? You don't have to follow the rules. You can do anything. You can do anything that you put your mind to. I don't know what song that is. But it's the sort of thing where, like... no. It's... I don't want to say it like I've experienced more media properties, because I've just ended up looking up what they were like instead of, you know, actually watching them. But I guess it kind of is, which is a bit weird. I've only got so much time on this blue little dot. You know? You can't spend all of it watching random movies. I mean, unless you really like to, then go ahead, by all means. There's too many must-see things to see in your lifetime. You can't see them all. So you got to pick and choose which ones seem the best to you. And sometimes you got to read a plot summary just to be like, is this something which is worth my time or not? And I guess in the end of this, I did read a plot summary for Sing ages ago. Not Sing 2. I don't even know if that's even come out. Do I remember it? No, not at all. But sometimes it's fun to look up like the performances in the song. In the movie, I don't even remember what performances came up in Sing. There's like a gorilla who plays the piano really well and sings nicely. There's like a punk hedgehog who's voiced by Taylor Swift, I think. And there's a pig mama who sings Lady Gaga, I think. And then I can't remember. Oh, there's an elephant who's like really nervous or something. Nah, I don't remember like any of this. Mint wrapping paper? More like get out my inventory wrapping paper. And that doesn't make sense. Okay. Clearly the conversational juices are very much run dry, so we'll probably round this episode off here, hey? There's something I read a plot summary for really recently as well, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I don't know. If anything, it's kind of like watching a movie on the Jeep. I got to know what happens in a movie and I didn't even have to go purchase a ticket for it in the first place. And maybe I'll do the same for a Quiet Place, because my friends want to watch Quiet Place too and I haven't seen the first one. But apparently you don't need to see the first one, so who really knows. Anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Day Darling. Likes, comments, subscriptions, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Day Darling Discord and follow me on Twitter down below. I hope we can see each other again, but for now, farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.